otherwise unnoble, but in which one sin is fostered, one vice indulged. To the soul that is struggling in secret against some giant temptation, trembling upon the very verge of the precipice, such an example is one of the most powerful enticements to Satan. He who, endowed with high conceptions of life and truth and honor, does yet willfully transgress one precept of God is, although has perverted his noble gifts into a lure to sin. Genius, talent, sympathy, even generous and kindly deeds may become decoys of Satan to entice other souls over the precipice of ruin for this life and the life to come. Those from the Mount of Blessings, page 135. Proverbs chapter 27 verses 19. As in water face answered to face to the art of man to man, young persons who are thrown into one another's society may make their associations a blessing or a curse. They may edify, bless, and strengthen one another, improving in the development or in disposition, in knowledge, or by permitting themselves to become careless and unfaithful. They may exert only a demoralizing influence. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 4, page 655. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. The influence of every man's thoughts and actions surrounds him like an invisible atmosphere, which is unconsciously breathed in by all who come in contact with him. This atmosphere is frequently charged with poisonous influences, and when these are inhaled, moral degeneracy is the sure result. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 5, page 111. Proverbs 23 verse 7. As he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 13 verse 20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but the companion of fools shall be destroyed. Take heed, lest by your example you place other souls in peril. It is a terrible thing to lose your own soul, but to pursue a course which will cause the loss of other soul is still more terrible. But our influence should result in a savior of death unto death is a terrible thought, and yet it is possible. With what joy jealously then should we keep guard over our thoughts, our words, our habits, our dispositions, our characters. God requires more deep personal holiness on our part. Only by revealing his character can we cooperate with him in the work of saving souls. Special Testimonies, Series A, Volume 7, page 36. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verses 14 to 16. Now thanks be unto God, which always causeth us to triumph in Jesus Christ, and maketh manifest the Saviour of his knowledge by us in every place. For we are unto God a sweet savour of Christ in them that are saved, and in them that perish. To the one we are the savour of death unto death, and to the other the savour of life unto life. And who is sufficient for these things? Let your influence be persuasive, finding people to your hearts because you love Jesus. These precious souls are his purchased possession. This is a great work. If by your Christ-like words and actions you make impressions that will kindle in their hearts a hungering and thirsting after righteousness and truth, you are a co-laborer with Jesus Christ. Spirit of thoughts must be cherished as indispensable to the work of influencing others and publish testimony. Jeremiah chapter 31 verses 3. The Lord has appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness I have drawn thee. Hosea chapter 11 verses 4. I drew them with cords of a man, with bands of love. It is the privilege of every true Christian to exert an influence for good over everyone whom he associates. Testimony for the Church, Volume 2, page 231. Psalms chapter 51 verses 10 and verses 13. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and the sinners shall be converted unto thee. The humblest and poorest of the disciples of Jesus can be a blessing to others. They may not realize that they are doing any special good, but by their unconscious influence, they may start waves of blessing that will widen and deepen, and the blessed results they may never know until the day of final reward. They do not feel or know they are doing anything great. They are not required to worry themselves with anxiety about success. They have only to go forward quietly, doing faithfully the work that God's providence assigns, and their life would not be in vain. Their own souls will be growing more and more into the likeness of Christ. They are workers together with God in this life, and are thus fitting for the higher work and the unshadowed joy of the life to come. Step to Christ, page 95. 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verses 18. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. Exodus chapter 34 verses 29. And it came to pass, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses wist not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with them. Self-denial, self-sacrifice, benevolence, kindness, love, patience, fortitude, and Christian trust are the daily fruits borne by those who are truly connected with God. Their acts may not be published to the world, but by themselves are daily wrestling with evil and gaining precious victories over temptation and wrong. Solemn vows are renewed and kept through the strength gained by earnest prayer and constant watching thereunto. The ardent enthusiast does not discern the struggle of these silent workers, but the eye of him who sees the secrets of the earth notices and regards with approval every effort put forth in lawless, appears virtuous, honorable, who take place constantly talking of their sinless state and endeavoring to make their religious attainments prominent, are only deceiving their own souls by so doing. A healthy man who is able to attend the vocations of life and who goes forth day after day to his labor with buoyant spirits and with a healthful current of blood flowing through his veins, does not court the attention of everyone. He means to his soundness of body. Health and vigor are the natural conditions of his life, and therefore he is scarcely conscious that he is in the enjoyment of so rich a boon. Thus, it is with the truly righteous man. He is unconscious of his goodness and piety. Religious principle has become the spring of his life and conduct, and its. Thank you for joining me. I'm coming for part 2 of the same message. Stay tuned. May God bless you so much and abundantly. This is Adventist Angels Watchman Radio. God bless you.